Welcome to another episode. Now, in today's video, I'd like to say it's very weird. That's all I can say. It's very weird. Just brace yourself for some weirdness, okay? But basically, I have put this, title for this topic today as Frequency Wars, which is our everyday life at this point. As you already know, we are constantly in spiritual warfare. So yeah, I just will talk about the most significant warfares, spiritual warfare that is, or frequency wars, of the battles that I come across and what I experienced. So for this video, I mentioned that I'm constantly evolving every day as I am in this journey, because we are constantly doing the things that, what is the word? Reinforce, or rather manifest the identity, the new identity of the person of the future, the man in the future that we are bringing into our present reality. So now I find myself in a position where out of the blue, I just get thoughts, very gay thoughts. Now, I'm pretty sure that not for most people. I mean, I don't believe I've heard anyone talk about something like this. But for myself, speaking personally, I have been very addicted to masturbation, porn, masturbation, all of that. And as I went through these years and years of just constant depleting myself, beating my meat, I eventually got to a point where I started to develop a voice that would try to say or try to suggest things like just gay things, bro. Like, I started to pay attention on the dick sizes of these porn stars and comparing it to my size, and that greatly affected my confidence, my lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, lack of worth and respect as I was growing up. But it just made me like this because it just came when I was very vulnerable. I realized that I used to watch other people's prints. Like, I was young at the time, and like, not like consciously watch, but I don't know, man. I just felt like it wasn't just me who had like a small, member, because obviously I was comparing my member to these porn stars, right? And therefore I used to be like, damn, bro, do like other people like have like big, and I used to just be in this state of just like, when you look at a person like, and they probably like got a noticeable print, you would be like, oh shit, that's a big dick motherfucker. And then when somebody else doesn't have a print, and let's say like they may be a big in size, you'd be like, he has a small dick, so I got a bigger dick than his. This is just something that used to just happen, bro. When I was young, growing up, and obviously I never paid too much attention. But then, as more as I went with it without paying attention to it, and constantly just wasting my life energy to these pixels and screens, I felt like it evolved, dog, and it started to play some images of me now being in a position of these videos. But instead of me being the person giving this member to a female, I am the person from the position of the female receiving. And I would think that it's because of the type of videos you were watching, because you know you have those POVs where you only see, it's like it's giving the illusion that you are the one, you know, beating this person, like giving this person your member. You only see the female, and then for the male you just see them like you see it's like they are wearing glasses or something. But for some odd reason, bro, these thoughts, this voice in my head used to play around with these images, and it's as if I was turning gay, you know, for some reason. And deep down I knew that I was never gay, because I know I love women. But for some reason that was the case, you know. Those were the thoughts that were just in my head. Not all of the time, but whenever I went into the porn sites, you know, and relapsed, I would just get those thoughts for the next few weeks. But then as I went like on a longer streaks, they would obviously be non-existent. But then that was just a pattern, bro. And for the longest time I actually identified with those thoughts, because I was at a very low frequency, at a very low point in life, that I truly believed that this is what I was. Like, I was a masturbator, porn addicted person, a loser, no confidence, and there's the potential of being gay. You know, for some time, like, the thoughts I used to have were literally convincing me that I was gay, bro. But then I never felt any attraction with any sort of men in my physical reality. Even if it was attractive people, let's say quote unquote attractive people on the online space, I never would feel attracted or have a boner or whatever for such people. But for some reason I used to get thoughts telling me this. And so that's why I knew or felt like deep down I'm not sus, right? But I just couldn't understand why I had these thoughts. But then obviously you grow older, you start to get busier with certain things, the thoughts subsided. But for some reason now, on this streak specific, out of the blue, literally yesterday, I'm watching a video on YouTube, and it's this trader on a vlog, right? And this thought just comes, and it's like a picture, it's like an image, and it's me interacting, or rather locking lips with this bro. Like, what the fuck? It's very disturbing, because I am an aware person, and I try my best to not identify with these thoughts, with any thought. You know, I choose the thought that I want to entertain. But it's very disturbing to get these thoughts, bro, because they touch me on a very deep level, because they tap me back into the memory of who I was when I was growing up. And it's the exact same thoughts that I used to have when I was growing up. And it's like it's playing at a very fragile part of my heart, of my being, because I know consciously, like subconsciously, I know I'm not gay. I am very attracted to women. I love women. But then it's hard to not believe a persistent thought that comes, especially when you are younger. That's how I ended up identifying with it for the most part. And it made me self-conscious and self-aware, because I wasn't interacting with women, and every time, this is me when I was younger, I used to be very scared, because obviously you lack confidence. You know, you do dirty stuff, you watch dirty videos at night, and you beat your shit, gay as fuck. And people, used to speak, bro, like, yo, why don't you just interact with girls or whatever? And I knew, or rather, I used to tell myself, like, nah, man, I'm celibate, because I used to just go on streaks. That's what I was doing, like, go on streaks. But then I would end up relapsing. I would never, like, go any. I would not even reach 30 days, bro. Like, I would just, every time I went, like, a solid, decent streak, I would go into the worst relapse loop ever. Like, I would go for like 3, 5, 6 times a day for like week straight, dog. And it was horrible, dog, because it's like whenever I had built so much momentum, the relapse would just make it a point that I fall even harder. It's like taking 3 steps up, 3 steps forward, and 6 steps back. Like, it was terrible, bro. And I was operating from a very low frequency for the most part of my teenage years, bro. For all of my teenage years, to think about, I was never confident. I was never a spoken person. I was shy. Like, it was horrible, bro. And now out of the blue, I have these thoughts, and it's like, bruh, I know that I'm not gay, bro. I love women. Whenever I have dreams, like wet dreams, I don't dream about niggas digging me down or me digging niggas. It's always women, bro. That's a fact. But then, like, it's within my aura to say, like, this belief, or this sort of, this belief, like, there's a possibility that I might be, because it's the thoughts that were in my headspace for the longest time. Therefore, you just started to view them as like part of yourself, right? And quite on the positive side, like, a light was shown in that moment of pondering, and you were saying, it's because I am evolving. I am now reaching higher states of consciousness. Therefore, I am becoming closer and closer to the person that I am building myself to be. Therefore, I am shedding and going through all the layers like an onion, I am going through all the different layers of my current self. I'm peeling all of the layers. I am unveiling all of the, pre-constructed veils, if I could put it like that. And I felt, when I had this thought, it made sense, because I do feel like I am becoming better. I am holding myself at a much higher standard. The way that I talk, the way that I even think of things now, the way that I even walk, it's improving. And it just made sense that eventually you will get to a point where the deepest, the darkest beliefs, the thoughts, your shadow, basically, you eventually get to that point in this journey. Because in order to go up, you have to first go down to the deepest parts of yourself, of your entire being, and see yourself for who you truly are, and dissolve any sort of limiting belief, low vibrational belief, whatever, that cannot go up with you. And yeah, man, it just gave me hope that this is what is actually happening. And yeah, I know one thing, that you decide or give meaning to everything that happens into your reality. Therefore, that's what I decide to give meaning to this. I gave this the meaning that this is exactly what is happening. And yeah, man, like I've mentioned, it's very, very weird. It's a very weird thing, but recently I've come across different content creators, SR creators, who do talk, or rather touch on the fact that masturbating is actually gay. You are basically holding your own member and watching another man having the actual experience, and you are basically getting aroused from that. You are creating that illusion that you are actually having that, and it's very gay, bro. So honestly, I do not personally feel like I was ever gay at one point or another in my life, but I do know that the mechanics of the mind, anything that stays for an extended period of time, it just becomes a part of you. It becomes a habit. It becomes something that is there, and sooner or later you find yourself identifying with it, and then sooner or later you think it's a part of you. It's like being programmed to think you are something that you are not, you know. And I do believe that was an attack from Satan, that he wanted me to believe that I was gay and shit, and God just wouldn't allow it, because he never made me to be that person, right? And yeah, man, that's just what I had to say today. Like I mentioned, it's a very weird video. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Just talking about this it's actually, I won't say it's uncomfortable for me, but obviously I'm alone. Nobody's is hearing what the fuck I'm saying, but it would be very uncomfortable if like there was someone here, bro. Like totally, because it's crazy, bro. Like I've never heard something like this ever in my life. I'm not gonna lie. But hopefully, yeah, some people out there might have a similar experience or something sort of this nature or whatever, and they might be able to find some value in this. But maybe if you have more insight or knowledge, or just want to share your experience, please feel free to just drop it in the comment section and just engage. You know, I would love to hear from anyone who's receiving this information. So with that being said, that is it from my side. That is it for this video. I will catch you on the next video. And with that being said, peace.